Okay, I think that I'm live now, and I apologize for the delay. As usual, I had some technical difficulties. So, as you know, I'm Trina Rise, and if you don't know, I'm Trina Rise. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I'm an expert in men's weight loss. And today we're going to be talking about how you can survive the holidays. Cravings can be really horrible this time of year. I know for me, it's all about chocolate. And if you just implement a few basic strategies and a little bit of damage control, then you can survive the holidays without gaining too much weight. And I think the average weight gain over the holidays for men is about 8 to 10 pounds. That's a lot, especially if you've been really trying to lose weight. Gaining that much weight over the holidays can really make you feel disheartened. And I don't want you guys to have to start January feeling like that. So I'm just going to get started right away because I know I'm a little bit late. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, how to control your cravings during the holidays. And we are also going to talk about damage control because I need to use it and I'm a nutritionist. And I'm assuming that you guys also need to use a little bit of damage control over the holidays because nobody's perfect. So, is this training for you? If you gain 5 to 10 pounds, 2 to 5 kilos over the holidays every year, and you feel miserable when the new year arrives, then this training is definitely for you. And you can put a one in the comments if that sounds like you. Um, does the weight you put on over the holidays feel like it's almost impossible to get off again? So, maybe you gain this weight and then it just feels like it's so difficult to get it off. You can put a two in the comments if that's you. I'm just going to check here to make sure to see if I have any comments. Okay, yeah. So if you're watching live, please just say hello. It's nice for me to know that I'm not talking to a screen. All right, if you want to be able to indulge a little bit over the holidays without going completely off the rails, then this training is fantastic to watch. You can put a three in the comments, that's you. So let's talk a little bit about why cravings hit harder in December. Most men think that cravings come from a lack of willpower, but here's what's actually causing you to crave snacks and all of the things that are really making it hard for you to lose weight. Your blood sugar swings from skipping meals or grazing all day. You've got stress from deadlines, family demands, and general chaos in December. I know this. I'm sure you guys know this. It's chaotic. You've got family functions. You've got all kinds of stuff going on. Hey, Robert, thanks for joining. You also can have poor sleep, which really can ramp up your hunger hormones. So when you don't sleep well, your hunger hormones, the hormones that are telling you that you're hungry. Hey, PJ. Yeah, your hormones that are telling you that you're hungry, that you're full, they're not working properly. So you're craving all kinds of stuff. Dehydration, which causes your brain to think that you're hungry, can be a real problem in December because most people are having some holiday cheer, maybe a little bit too much wine, beer, cocktails. That can leave you dehydrated, especially if you're not drinking enough water. Holiday routines, which really don't have a lot of structure and predictability, can really make cravings worse in December. And for me, it's having chocolate in the house all the time. So one of my biggest strategies for my clients is don't have this stuff in the house. Like if you if you can't control yourself around chips or you can't control yourself around chocolate or cashews, PJ, I know you're watching, don't have them in the house. All right. But in December, that's impossible. People have, dishes of chocolate everywhere, or you're buying chocolate for stockings or for your kids or your grandkids or for friends. And there's stuff that you crave in the house all the time. So today what I want to teach you is that you can stop cravings fast by using one simple eating pattern. It's a pattern that I teach you guys in all of the trainings, so it's not going to be a surprise for people who have watched my trainings before. You're going to identify the 3 holiday situations that trigger overeating. You want to think about hydration and use hydration as a strategy to eliminate late night snacking and also just snacking in general. You're going to learn how to apply the damage control triangle after big meals or huge celebrations. I use this myself. My clients use it. It's very effective. And maybe you can even lose a little bit of weight in December, even with parties, travel, and chaos, because if you can lose 2 or 3 pounds over the next couple of weeks, then you have a little bit of a buffer, and you can maybe have a little more stuffing or the pecan pie or whatever it is you love to eat. PJ, for you, I know it's cashews. So maybe even chocolate covered cashews. Anyway, you're going to walk away today with a plan that works in real life, not just on perfect days, because we all know that December and Christmas time is really not perfect. And before we get started on all that, I just want you to do one thing for me, and I want you to set a realistic goal. Please do not set unrealistic goals over the holidays. You need to know yourself. If you tend to really overindulge over the holidays and enjoy food a lot, saying that you're going to, for example, not have even one piece of chocolate over the holidays, or say, I'm not going to have a piece of my favorite pie, I'm going to buckle down right now and get started on my 2026 goals. It's kind of unrealistic, okay? Saying you're going to lose 5 pounds between now and January 1st is probably unrealistic for most people. If you're like me, it's for sure unrealistic. I usually gain 2 or 3 pounds over the holidays. I eat a lot of chocolate, and that's just my reality. So I'm not going to make myself an unrealistic goal and say I'm not having any chocolate over the holidays, or I'm only going to have dark chocolate. It's not going to happen, okay? So set yourself a realistic goal. You could say something like, I'm going to buy myself healthier options for when I feel the urge for a holiday treat. Something that I teach my clients would be, hey, you feel like chocolate, buy yourself some good quality dark chocolate. And then when you feel like you want chocolate, you can have it and you don't have to feel bad about it. And it's not going to cause like this huge sugar spike because it's not full of sugar, like, for example, a turtle. You can make a goal like, I'm going to maintain my current weight from now until January 1st. That's a fantastic goal, and it won't put so much pressure on you. And you can also say something like, I'm going to have my favorite treats, but I'm going to have a reasonable size serving. So setting an unrealistic goal that you can't achieve will just make you feel even worse when all the indulging is over and the new year arrives. And that's not what I want for you. I want you to start the new year in a good frame of mind, ready to achieve your goals. Maybe you didn't achieve them in 2025, and maybe 2026 is the year. So, just set yourself a realistic goal, get through the holidays, and get ready to start things in January. Robert's saying, the problem is I do not live alone, and they put so many temptations out. Yes, and this is the reality for most people. Temptation is absolutely everywhere, and December. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about strategies that can prevent you from going completely overboard and being tempted by all of this yummy stuff that's around. Okay. And I do have I have a free PDF for you guys, strategies to survive the holidays. So if you do want the PDF, just put PDF in the comments if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, and I will make sure that I reach out and get it for you. So the 3 holiday situations that trigger overeating, well, like Robert just said, one of those situations is just life and temptations and chocolates and holiday treats everywhere. But skipping meals, just in general over the holidays, I wouldn't recommend, or skipping meals before a party. It's really not good. Okay. So you're going to show up starving, you're going to show up hungry, you lose control, and then you overeat. And the solution to that is just really to eat normally all day over the holidays. So even if you have a big holiday function or you have a party to go to, please, the best thing that you can do to prevent overeating will be to eat normally all day. Because the reality is that if you skip meals, you don't eat all day, and then you get there and there's this like huge table full of treats and deliciousness, you're going to eat too much. Okay. And here it is, number 2, the second situation that's going to throw you off over the holidays is a buffet or snack tables. Unlimited grazing will keep your blood sugar spiking for hours. So if you're constantly nibbling, and this happened to me when I was pregnant the first time with my daughter, I gained, I think I gained about 70 pounds in 9 months. And you could find me at every single function at the buffet or the snack table, eating cake, eating cookies, and just snacking all day long. Okay. And the solution really is the first thing is make sure you're eating properly during the day. And when you're at a buffet or there are snack tables, make yourself one plate, walk away, and then enjoy the event. Okay. And you can do that. If you didn't show up starving, you can probably do that. Number 3 situation Or the third situation that is going to throw people off over the holidays is emotional eating from stress, exhaustion, or overwhelm. So when your stress hormones rise, cravings come. And the solution is use the reset five. That's 5 minutes, have a drink of water, move around a little bit, and have an intentional pause. Like if you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, you're about to reach for food, take a pause. Okay. So let's talk about um, the actual strategies that I use to stop cravings and survive the holidays. And these are just practical things that you can do. Okay. Number one, have a solid first meal every single day. During the holidays, don't skip this. Make your first meal of the day count. It's really important. So whether you eat in the morning when you wake up or you wait for an hour or two, make sure that your first meal of the day has protein. And I'll say protein again, make sure it has protein, it has healthy fat, and it has fiber. You really want this meal to be well balanced. You want it to be heavy on the protein because it's going to stabilize your blood sugar all day long. If you do this, you'll have balanced blood sugar, you'll feel full and satisfied, but also your hormones will be balanced and you will be much less likely to reach for holiday treats. Like, for example, because it is December and there's chocolate everywhere, this morning I had a well balanced breakfast. And the first thing I thought of after I ate it was, man, I really would love some chocolate. But I paused for 10 minutes. I had a coffee, and really after that, I didn't feel like I needed to have anything. And so it's not that you're not going to get the craving, but if you put these strategies into place, then you will be able to decide to have that sweet treat from a place of control instead of a place of feeling like you have to have it. Okay, number two, the eating pattern that kills cravings fast. You need to use food to balance your blood sugar. Eat a real breakfast. Again, protein, fiber. Make sure you drink water. And then you need to focus on 3 solid meals a day. No grazing, no snacking, protein in every meal, and hydration, hydration, hydration. Make sure you're hydrated. Balanced blood sugar will help keep your hand out of the cookie jar. So the key to controlling your holiday cravings is balanced blood sugar. The key to balancing your blood sugar is food, and blood sugar can only be regulated by the foods that you choose to eat. So I'm going to show you some pictures, some examples of well-balanced plates that will balance your blood sugar in a minute. But this is a really important thing to note. Okay, if you want to take notes, this is where you should take notes. You need to balance your blood sugar. You just have to change how, when, and what you eat. And you're going to have 3 solid meals a day. You are not going to graze. You're not going to snack. So this makes it really easy to keep cravings at bay. So combine protein, fat, and fiber. And if you're having carbs, that's fine at every meal to maintain balanced blood sugar. And you want to be doing this 3 times a day. So this is a balanced plate of food. These are my plates. You have protein, maybe you have a little bit of starch, and you have half a plate of vegetables. There's healthy fat in there too. There's salmon. And the chicken here has skin. If you were having a skinless chicken breast, maybe adding a little bit of avocado or some olive oil or butter on your vegetables would add that healthy fat. But you need to keep your blood sugar stable. And so you want to have balanced meals. Okay. Again, another one of my meals. Yes, I am having a bit of starch, but I am focusing mostly on healthy fat. There's olive oil in the salad. Protein, this is a pork chop, and vegetables. Okay, make sure your meals are balanced. These are some meals from some of my clients. You can skip, you can definitely skip starch, just have half a plate of vegetables and a bunch of protein. That's totally fine too. Okay, the third thing that you can do is don't eat carbs or drink alcohol on an empty stomach. Sweets and alcohol are carbs. So when you have carbs on an empty stomach, it will spike your blood sugar. And we just talked about the fact that it's really important to keep your blood sugar stable and that that's going to help prevent you from, giving into your holiday cravings. So don't have carbs on an empty stomach. If you're going out to a party or get together, and we're all going to probably, have some wine or cocktails over the holiday season, that's fine. But please have some protein and healthy fat. or some fiber before you go, before you get there. If you're having it at your house, it's even easier. There's always going to be a snack table. So have some meat, some cheese, and a few vegetables before you start drinking alcohol, before you start eating sweets. It will prevent your blood sugar from, going really high up. It'll keep it a little bit lower. And we want to keep your blood sugar stable. Okay. Even a handful of nuts or a few pieces of cheese, like I said, will reduce the impact of having sugary treats or wine or other alcohol on your body. Number 4, stay hydrated. Okay, you're eating a bunch of salty food, sugar, caffeine, alcohol, all those things cause dehydration. You need to drink water. So just start your day with water. Even if you're at a party and you're having alcohol, have a glass of alcohol, have a glass of water in between your next drink, your first drink and your next drink. You can add lemon to your water. Lemon's really good for your liver. Your liver's kind of getting a beating, especially if you like to indulge in some alcohol over the holidays. I always tell people try and drink a liter of water as soon as you wake up. So you start the day hydrated. I always do this just because the day goes by. You're sitting, you have to work, you've got family functions, you've got all this stuff. Maybe you're not going to have time to drink water. Start with a liter. At least you're starting your day hydrated. Okay. And you've probably seen this chart before if you've watched my stuff. This is just showing you what color your urine should be. The one on the right is severely dehydrated. Your urine should look like diluted apple juice. Okay. Number 5 is what to do at a restaurant meal. It's the same thing as going to a party, you guys. Just don't arrive at the restaurant hungry. Don't not eat all day. You're going to want to eat the whole basket of bread they bring out first. You're going to want to order every appetizer. If you go and you have eaten 2 solid meals, breakfast and lunch, before you're at the restaurant for dinner, you're not going to be as hungry. You're going to be able to make a choice about what you're going to eat from a place of control. Okay. I highly recommend you skip the bread and order something with protein to start. You can get like a shrimp cocktail or scallops or a charcuterie board. All of those things are a much better start than having that basket of bread that they always bring. Drink water before your meal. You can order a main dish, please, that has a good source of protein. So that could be steak or salmon, chicken, whatever. But order something with a good source of protein. And then you can skip the starch. Normally, when you eat at a restaurant, you're eating way more calories than you would at home. So you can just skip the rice, skip the potato, or ask for a smaller portion and just ask for more veggies. And, I love having dessert when I go out to eat. So have dessert, but share it. And then you're not going to eat, this giant piece of cake that they're going to bring you. But just one quick note, like when you're at a restaurant, this is sometimes when you feel like, you get all the cravings, everything's accessible, someone's bringing it right to you. So really putting in all of these strategies will help. Again, holiday dinner parties, eat solid, well-balanced meals and don't arrive at the party hungry. Arrive hydrated, make sure you've had water. Don't hit the dessert table first. Have sweets after you've had some protein. Have protein and healthy fat for appetizers and try and skip the bread. So there's always so many good healthy choices, or almost always at most holiday parties. Olives, cheese, meat, and vegetables. Eat that first. One of my clients was worried about Christmas and it's a big Italian get together and they always start with pasta. And he's like, my mother-in-law's going to think I'm crazy if I ask for a plate of salad before I eat the meal. I said, well, why don't you bring an appetizer tray, bring a tray with vegetables and hummus and guacamole or something like that so that, it's not weird. You're not asking someone to prepare more food, but you're bringing something that you need. And then you can have that. Okay. So there are always solutions to the problem. If you think that you're going to a party or a get together where there are not healthy options for you, bring a huge salad. Bring something that you know that you need to stay on track that other people can enjoy too. Okay. And if you really want to have seconds, I would always say, go for more protein and vegetables. Hit the protein and vegetables first. It's going to fill you up faster. You can still enjoy, stuffing and all of the things and some sweets. But if you fill up on the vegetables and the protein first, it's a lot less likely that you're going to go completely crazy. Okay, damage control. So This is going to happen to pretty much everybody, unless you're a machine. I have a couple clients who just who are like on it, and they're even better than me when it comes to not indulging and overeating over the holidays. But most of us are going to, and there are definitely strategies that you can use that are going to help you keep your weight in check. Number one thing to do if you indulge and you go completely overboard and you're sitting, you're sitting on the couch after you've just had um, like the biggest meal of your life and you feel terrible and you're like, what have I done? Please don't beat yourself up about it. If you had, two giant plates plus appetizers and 3 pieces of pecan pie, there's literally nothing you can do about it. All right. You've eaten it. The job is done. So now it's time for damage control. And we can call it the damage control triangle. Say you finished eating dinner at 8 p.m. Okay. The next day you're going to wake up. You can fast. Okay. That's one option. If you like fasting, if you fasted before, you can just fast. You had a late meal. You can fast the next day until noon or 2 p.m. Just drink a lot of water in the morning. But what I want you to do when you do wake up, because the problem with indulging in some huge holiday meals, you're going to wake up the next day and you're going to be in a situation where there are lots of leftovers. There's probably going to be leftover pie on the couch. There's probably going to be cookies and sweets and all kinds of stuff that you could, very easily start getting into first thing in the morning. Do not do that. If you are hungry, if you feel like you need to eat again in the morning, just eat protein. Please have a proper breakfast with protein. That could mean leftover turkey and vegetables. I don't care. Make sure you get protein. If you're okay to fast, that's something that I do. That's my damage control. If I have a huge meal in the evening, a holiday meal, usually the following day I will fast at least until noon. I drink a lot of water in the morning. I go for a gentle walk to use up some of that stored fat from the night before, because if you ate, 5,000 calories at dinner, your body will have stored fat. But if you don't eat in the morning, your body can use up that stored fat. So fasting's fantastic. If you have a huge meal at lunch time, like your family likes to eat middle of the day, you can fast until the next morning, no problem. If you've had a huge meal at dinner time, you can fast until the next day at lunchtime or later. That's something that I do. Fasting can really allow your body to reset and recuperate and to use stored energy. So when we eat too many calories and we eat a lot of carbs, our blood sugar goes way up. And when the blood sugar is way up here and your body doesn't need all that sugar, it stores it as fat. So you're definitely gaining fat when you eat a giant meal. But if you fast the following day for a little while, you can use up that stored fat. And if you know me, I don't advocate, fasting without strategy. This is using fasting in a strategic way so that you can enjoy the holidays and you can not gain a ton of weight. Okay, this is one thing that I just want to talk about a little bit, because holidays can be a really hard time for people who are trying to lose weight and take care of their health, because you've got, your mom and your mother-in-law and your aunts, or maybe your daughter, or you've got somebody. And I'm saying women because women tend to be, yeah, maybe we're a little bit like food pushy or food pushers, but not just women, but a lot of people like to push food. They're like, oh, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, have another piece of pie, or oh, you don't need to lose weight, it's Christmas, all these sorts of things. So if you're dealing with comments and questions about what you're trying to accomplish with your weight and your health, these can be some better things to tell people other than I'm trying to lose weight, I don't want to eat that, I'm on a diet. Okay, so what to tell people if they're questioning you? Instead of saying that you're trying to lose weight, just say that you're trying to make better food choices so that you can be healthier and live longer. It's really easy for people to argue with you about the fact that you don't need to lose weight and that it's Christmas and you should have that extra piece of pie. But there are not a lot of people who are going to argue with you about wanting to be healthier and wanting to, take care of your health going forward. So that's a really good thing to do. Okay, bonus strategy. You can pretend that I'm sitting on your shoulder, telling you to step away from the pie. This kind of seems a bit silly, but it probably will work for you. It works for a lot of my clients. They're like, oh, I see your face, I hear your voice. I'm not a militant, so I know you're going to have a piece of pie. I know you're going to have a couple of drinks, but if you want to indulge from a place of control, it might be a good idea to think, what would Trina tell me to do right now? And if you've already had a piece of pie and you've had 4 drinks, you know what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm going to tell you to drink some water and go for a walk. So you can use that bonus strategy is just pretend that I'm sitting on your shoulder. So with that, I want to say happy holidays to everybody. Oops, maybe let me just stop my share. And yeah, I hope that everybody enjoys the holidays because food and being with family, it's a really, really important part of most people's lives. And the holidays are just, a special time where we get to enjoy all of this yummy food and we get to enjoy being with family. So don't my best advice is not to deprive yourself of enjoying the things that you love to have that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, but you can still enjoy those things without, how do I say, completely going off the rails and gaining 10 pounds. It's not necessary. You can still enjoy the things that you enjoy at Christmas time, and not put on a bunch of weight that's going to be very difficult to get off in January. So I think there are only a couple people watching live. If you guys have questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. But I think with that, I'll probably leave it. If you want a PDF with strategies to survive the holidays, I'm giving that out free. So please just say PDF if you'd like to have it. Um, and I will send it to you. And I don't think anyone has any questions here. Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm going to end it, but please, if you're watching it in the replay and you have questions about any of the strategies I talked about, please just ask them in the comments. As always, I'm so happy to answer them. And I'm hoping to maybe do one more live next week before the holidays hit, and that will be with one of my clients who it's an old client of mine that I've had for well, we haven't been working together for the last couple of years, but he lost 100 pounds and originally, and put his diabetes into remission and got off all his meds and did all kinds of crazy stuff. And he's had a little bit of a rough go of it over the last year and a half. Got diagnosed with something that's caused him a bit of problem, gained some weight back, and is now losing the weight again. And I think that his story will be really inspirational to a lot of you because it really just shows that life is never black and white. Weight loss and health is never black and white, and that the strategies that I teach are important because they will teach you how to take control of your life in any season of your life. And we all know that life happens, and sometimes weight's going to come back on, or we're going to be unwell, and these things are going to happen. But what I teach is important because it will show you how to be able to take control of your health for the rest of your life. You're not going to need to go on another diet. You're not going to need to get another program. You're not going to need to do any of those things because you will have the knowledge to control your weight and to control your health. Obviously, at some points in time, none of us are good at doing things perfectly, but that's not the point, right? The point is having the knowledge to take with you for the rest of your life so that you can implement the strategies even after life's been kicking your butt for a while. So hopefully I'll be able to do that with my client next week. And yeah, that's it for today. So I hope everyone has a fantastic holiday season. And as always, reach out if you need me or just want to chat. So take care.